with food. We got to go back to work. Now, back to work does not necessarily mean working for somebody. Back to work, and you really shouldn't have stopped, mean working for yourself. I can be the preacher here because they don't want to preach it. The government is giving away money. If you got an idea for your business, the government is giving away money. The lines are open. 325-5403, 325-5404, and 325-5405. This U.S. election, by the way, sets the stage for the Bahamas election. The Bahamas election is only 18 months away. It can't go longer than that. May of 2022. It can't go no longer than that. So you got December, January, February, March, April, May, and a year. 18 months away is our election. The punch say 300 PLPs apply to be candidates. Only 40, even 40 seats. 300 apply. When you are the ruling party, like the FNM is, no one applies for your seat. Oh, no, it don't work like that. Ain't nobody could apply for Desmond Bannister's seat in the FNM. You out of order. Now, if Desmond Bannister, Carmichael, is stepping aside, then you could put in. You don't challenge the, You don't challenge. We've had some cases of that. But you really, normally in our traditional political system, you don't challenge the incumbent sitting and go run again. No, sir. So in terms of the FNM, then, if all of the incumbents run again, those who are sitting, you only have 4 seats that the FNM does not have. Well, no, because Vaughn gone and Vaughn Miller gone and Reese Chipman gone, so that'll be 6. And then 1 or 2 on the fence. So there might be about 8 to 10 seats that the FNM will be looking for new candidates for, or candidates for. The PLP is the one that would have the majority of new candidates. But even in the PLP, you do not challenge. Well, you tell me about it. The lines are open, whatever you want to talk about. 325, I itching for the U.S. election results. If anything shows up, you're monitoring CNN. If anything shows up, any movement, let us know. 325-5403, the number to call in today. 3255. By the way, you know these schemes, what people be getting you hooked on? These get-rich schemes? Don't mess with that. You can get locked up. Do not mess with that. Them get-rich Ponzi type thing, you can get locked up. Leave that alone. From the islands, I'm concerned about Elutra. Elutra, your cases of COVID-19 in the confirmed column getting astronomically high. And it's shooting up 20 a day. You hear me? One day it had 19 or something. Not in Elutra. What's going on? Boychi, you okay? And the thing about it is you don't know exactly where it is. You don't know if it's Bryland, if it's Spanish Wells. You weren't supposed to know, I guess. That's people's personal medical affairs. But you don't know if it's Bryland, Spanish Wells, Current, The Bluff, Hatchet Bay, Governors, Point, Tarpon Bay, Rock Sound. You ain't know where. Just start partying. My sources say there's been a lot of backyard partying going on in Elutra. Just stop it. Because that's spread because you don't wear your mask at home. I have started now when persons come over to my house to wear the mask, even though I know them good. The lines are open. Whatever you want to talk about, let's do so responsibly today here on Darrell Miller Live. The movers are at the White House. Did you see that one? The moving trucks are at the White House. Doesn't mean Trump lose yet. Oh boy, the minute you see that announced, you know what happens. Let's go to Mrs. Antrobus, or Amos Benolden for you say.
How you doing?
Amos?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Where you at, Amos?
I'm here.
In Nassau?
Right? Yes, I'm in Nassau, sir.
Turn him up a tad. Where you from? Where you from, Amos?
My mother and father.
Turn him up a tad.
My mother and father. Okay, my mother and father is from Acklands. My mother and father parents is
you's a Miller?
Yes, I am.
Ah, man, I thought that's you.
Yes.
What you say?
Unfortunate for me, even my grandparents' parents from Acklands. Now, anything further than that, I need some money to do more deeper research.
Well, let's research where the Millers came from. I believe...
I already did the deepest part of our research. When we were known around the world in the slavery times, each person or group of Bahamians, as relates to our last name, gives you the owner of the plantation.
Where Millers come from?
Millers the name Miller is a German name.
That's what I thought. Mueller.
Right. Some say there's different ways they spell it. Mueller, Miller. They pronounce it I love just how they pronounce it.
But you're saying those of us who are black were owned by the Muellers.
Hold on now. With the Muellers, though, when I did your research, and all Millers on all 5 of the Bahamian Islands are related. But when I did your research for the Miller name, as relates to your motto, Manent, Optima Coelo. In other words, the Queen, the royal family was the real family who gave the Muellers their name.
Thank you. Okay, what you say?
Now, what I call here to talk about today is by the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread.
You got that right.
Until you return. See, that's only the first half. The last half say, until you return to the ground. Okay? Because out of the ground you were taken. For dust we are, and to dust we shall return.
You got a voice in the Bible for that?
Yes, that's Genesis chapter 3, verse 19. That's the verse before Adam named his wife.
Hold on. Genesis 3 and 19.
Yes, sir.
I reading from Daddy Bible.
All right, you go ahead.
In the sweat of thy face
Yes.
shalt thou eat bread.
Yes, sir.
till thou return unto the ground.
That's the one.
For out of it wast thou taken.
That's the one.
For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
And if you read the
and Adam called his wife's name Eve.
That's verse 20.
Because she was the mother of all living. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. You set it off right today.
Okay, now that ain't what I called for.
10 seconds more.
Pardon?
10 seconds more.
All right, so I called to say this. That is connected to my constitutional right, my faith. It is my constitutional right to have freedom of religion. It also is my right to have freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement, freedom to go and work. Now, when I create my job, because the hotels, the private sector, the government, everyone turned me down in the last 50 years. Now I create my job. And for other Bahamians, their ages are different. The time frames are different. We have created our job, and for the government to shut us down, agree to give a stipend, a provision, what I call it, a provision type stipend, because that's all it is in comparison to what we as small business owners who go there and, could earn on our own. But yes, we have a global situation we have to deal with.
What have you created on your own?
A small little business on Paradise Island called Summer Shade Umbrellas. You make and sell umbrellas? Not make. We buy the umbrellas whether from Kelly's or sorry for calling their name. They need to give you some money. Or Solomon's. Okay, they might too.
These are Bahamian-made umbrellas or Chinese-made? Hold on, man. Let me ask you a question. Sure. These Bahamian-made umbrellas or Chinese-made umbrellas?
They are imported.
Where they made?
Well, I guess we have to ask the distributor.
Okay.
It's Kelly's where they get them from.
Yeah, but the signage on the umbrella.
On the box where it is made, you have a beautiful picture of the umbrella.
It don't say where the umbrella made.
I think if my recollection reminds me correct, it might say China.
Okay.
Let's just say it's made in China. But right. What we do, what I do...
Amos, I can let you go. This is deep, but I can let you go, and I can say this.
You ain't let me make my point?
Yeah, but you've been on long now.
I needed to show you from the scripture where God tells
I understand that.
But my point for Colin, is the fact that when they... Hello?
Go ahead.
When they shut the business down, it is still my...
You mean from March to now because of COVID?
Because of COVID.
Ain't nobody gonna agree with you that we shouldn't...
No, you're not listening. You're interrupting. You need to listen.
All right, I can give you 1 minute, and that's it.
I'm telling you, if I don't do it in 1 minute, I'm gone. Listen, what I'm saying to you, the government made the decision to shut small businesses down. It is not our fault that COVID-19 came here, okay? There is issues on our plate, okay, that we all have to deal with. What I am saying, it is unfair for the government to agree to give certain persons who are employed in the tourism business a stipend or whatever they call it, okay, for unemployment, all right? Like, it's not our fault. So they recognize it's not our fault. The fact that legally, I'm saying, legally in my mind, if you recognize that, you cannot expect for people to wait a month and a half for this so-called stipend, and in the time they're waiting, they go on the street to get a little something to bring back home. You have the police giving them a $500 ticket, threatening the public, the owner of that office, that when they go to court, the magistrate, okay, who aren't supposed to be balanced and free, you're saying that magistrate is now instructed to double the amount of that ticket. That is egregious. That is, in my humble opinion, a treasonous mindset and a dangerous precedent for a prime minister. Amos Jr. Miller tell you that. Good day.
325-5403. 325-5404. And 325-5405. rain, you might have to wait. You could call in later on. The lines are jam up. Because he must start something.
The noble objectives in that Constitution. It says no man, no woman, no child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone. We ain't reached there yet, Bahamians. 47 years later, we ain't reached there. So what are we going to do? We're going to another 47 years? Have that crap on our back? We should have stopped that long ago. I believe you have a call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good day, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, thanks for holding on for Brother Bodie. Brother Thompson, I want to touch something that you said as relates to the Constitution that,
Yes,
that I think should come for the people. It's not necessarily what you're talking about, but it has everything to do with our constitutional rights, if you would allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, I'm very concerned today that after today is the 6th of November, so if you add the entire October, okay, 31 days plus the 6 days, those small business owners in this country whose lives would forever be affected, we have been set back. And unless financial, economic help, and it don't always have to be financial, but it's just that some financial matters would have to be waived on behalf of these small businesses. Why? Because, you see, you have the government who hires, you have the hotels, okay? And if the hotel wasn't hiring, the government had moratorium on themselves for more than almost 20 years, if you ask me. And they hire who they want to hire. Bahamian people were forced to go and seek employment on their own in terms of creating an income for themselves. Here we have, okay, like you read as relates to the preamble, the Bahamian people, all right, have rights to religion. We have rights to go create businesses and work so we can feed ourselves. We are a faith-based nation. Everybody ain't saved in the spiritual realm in that regard. Everybody don't believe in the Bible, okay? But the majority of us, if we have a referendum, yesterday, today, or tomorrow, this country would be known around the world as a faith, Christian-minded society. The majority of us, okay? Christianity would win, hands down. And I'm saying, on that fact, Genesis 3:19 says, by the sweat, and you have, it's 3:50, so I see you run out of time. Genesis chapter 3:19 says, by the sweat of our brow we shall eat our bread till the day we go back to the earth, because from the earth we were taken, and to the earth we shall return. That's why we work, because the Creator who created us said that is our punishment for breaking His law. And what I don't like is for man to create man law and then turn around and violate the Bahamian citizens' rights through this very same law that they are invoking. Chapter 3, Article 29 is where they get the rights from. Half of that paragraph says you can create a proclamation of an emergency. The other half says he who call in the proclamation must make provision or get someone to provide the provision. You cannot lock up Bahamian people. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the country, leader of a party. He does not lead the courts. The court is independent. It's an independent branch of government. And for him to threaten Bahamian businesses, and as far as I'm concerned, you're threatening Amos, because Amos revealed before the world Act number 5 of 1971, and the fact that in 1971 we did not have Facebook, We did not have social media. So the world now is seeing what Amos would have said in 2010, 2012, that the Bahamas government is involved in a global governmental conspiracy to defraud the Bahamian people out of every drop of our natural asset, our natural resources. And now we find out 10 years later, our life, we have this competent person is deciding who live and who die, who get justice in the court and who don't. This is treason. You all have a good day.
Thank you, Amos, for your contribution. Okay, he spoke his mind, and that's what it's all about. Freedom of expression, freedom to impart ideas and opinions.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your...
I wanted to hear from you today.
Yes.
Because we await the United States presidential election results.
Yes.
It seems like it's stopping, or there's just a little break in the... What's going on?
It is. I've never seen anything like this. This is very peculiar, very unusual, because normally on the first night of the election, you would have a declared winner of an election, and this is very unusual. I know persons like myself, there's a lot of persons like myself who is pulling for what you would say Trump because of the business and economic boom that the Republicans in office have always given the Bahamas in financial services and investments, and just business on the whole. The Bahamas has fared better under the Republicans than the Democrats. The Democrats have...
Hold on now. I gotta be like CNN. I gotta stop you and fact check you.
No, it is true. It is true that the offshore industry has been greatly affected by the Democratic leadership. But we know that the Bahamas, we benefit from 85% of our tourists come from the United States. A lot of them come from the eastern seaboard of the United States. The United States is our biggest trading partner. And we know that the Bahamas, exports pharmaceuticals, cement, crawfish, aragonites. Out of the Bahamas into the United States, they are our biggest exporters, where we export to. And so the Bahamas and the United States has maintained great relationships. I think we've been one of the biggest in terms of support. In terms of initiatives with what the United States want to do in the region.
Okay, stick a pin right there. Let me explain who you are. Wayne Johnson, I call him one of the younger corner boys. I grew up Minnie Street in the heart of Engliston. And he grew up Ida Street, one block over. Clean cut, nice young man. I call him a business consultant. Is that a good description?
Yes, I am a business consultant, yes.
And your premise now is that business has always been good between the Bahamas and the United States. And as we await the election results, there are those who believe Trump is better than Biden for the Bahamas?
Yes, you have a lot of persons in the country who are in the business sector who who was in the financial services. Their booming years has been under the Republican led leadership when they were in power, whether it was George W. Bush Jr. When he was in office, and Republican led leadership. The Democrats have always have left the region, and I think it affected us in a great deal, and that's why you see other situations happening. But the Bahamas, we have been a great nation in terms of what we spend in South Florida. We spend billions of dollars in South Florida in terms of import. We go over to shop. People have businesses over there. It's a lot of opportunity for us, and there we are located not in the Caribbean but in North America. 35 minutes on a jet and be in South Florida.
I know. I don't know if your parents, well, your male on the male side, My daddy went and worked on the contract in the United States, Georgia, I believe, Florida, and when he would come back home, we were the happiest children in the world because he brought not only money, but he brought gifts.
Well, Darrell, both of my grandparents worked on the contract, and my dad worked on the contract. My dad was able to work on the contract in the United States, in Florida, Key West, Palm Beach, Orlando, up in Minnesota. My daddy then worked all over in Missouri. And so you had Bahamians who helped to build South Florida and build this mechanism, and the economy of South Florida was built off the backs of Bahamians from centuries ago. You know, the Bahamians always were interactive with South Florida. And so you had Bahamian families who have what they have today because they worked on the contract and sent money back home. They were able to buy property, started businesses, started empires.
Do they owe us anything for that?
Pardon me?
Do they owe us anything for that?
Darrell, there were funds that were sent back to the Bahamas. I don't know where the funds got lost, but there were funds that were sent back from companies where it was sent back to some of these families, and some of these families who know that their forefathers worked on the contract were still trying to find out where did these monies go. And so it's a great deal. Like I said, a trading partner. We've had mutual friendship. We've had a situation where we have the pre-clearance. I think us, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands are the only countries in this region that has pre-clearance.
And that's key. That's key to today's travel.
Yes, the ease of today's travel, but also the ease of today's business. When you look at the ease of doing business and flying in and out of the Bahamas and going into South Florida, going into New York, Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, Houston, L.A., you know, when you got to do business, go to trade shows, you know, just meet business people. The ease of that it's been second to none, Darrell. And I think we have tremendous opportunity. Darrell, listen to this. The gross metropolitan product of Miami is $257 billion. You can imagine that. Miami, where we go and shop, their gross domestic product, their gross metropolitan product, like what they do in terms of sales, goods, services, culture, arts, is $257 billion. So let's imagine we are so close to the United States. And because we are so close, the opportunities that exist for us is tremendous. The opportunities going to come to the Bahamas is going to be second to none. I believe that we're going to have an economic boom. I believe that we're going to have economic opportunity.
Slow down. We are going to have an economic boom, whether it's Trump or Biden.
But Darrell, I can be specific and very clear. I would prefer Trump because Trump is a businessman. Trump understands the economy. He brought $300 billion of monies that were overseas by foreign corporations back to America. And I believe that the deployment and opportunity that will happen for the Bahamas will work better. I've seen under a Trump administration versus a Biden, but the election results is too close to call. But I'm believing that in finance and international trade, education, tech, I believe the Bahamas, we have a tremendous opportunity to change what you call a downward spiral that is happening in our economy. I just believe that we got to be able to be innovative. We got to be creative. We got to be able to use our talent to be able to make the Bahamas a dynamic place again.
Stick a pin there, Wayne Johnson. What's your business name?
Wayne Johnson International.
Okay. Hold on. We got to go to a break. I want to talk to you some more. That's my, what do we call him? Our protege. We used to hang out. He never smoked nothing, no way, but we hang out, you know, coming from school maybe, and we talk, good talk. I have a brother in the United States of America. Mommy, send me his number now. I want to talk to him. He lives in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And every day he goes over the Benjamin Franklin Bridge into Pennsylvania, Philadelphia to be exact. He is on the editorial board. He might have retired now. The editorial board of the Philadelphia Inquirer. And that is where, oh boy, make or break for either Trump or Biden. That might be the deciding state. Although, what looking? Arizona, Wisconsin, all of them still up for grabs. Georgia, North Carolina, we await to see. We're going to take our first break here on Darrell Miller Live. Call me as we await to see the results of this dead heat. Let's talk about our economy and how we could craft our new economy, no matter who in charge of the United States, so that we can be on the ball come the new year.
The Prime Minister, from months ago, the Prime Minister was talking about he going to go visit his granddaughter. And it's like, oh, that's great. However, you're telling us to not visit anybody. And you're not telling us if it's possible to go visit extended family, tell us how we can do it safely, as opposed to telling us to stay away from everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's not happening. All we getting is, y'all can't do this. And then when we turn around, all of them got COVID. Yeah. And the wonderful thing about it is they have the one real cure for COVID, which is money and access to money, right? Because if I get COVID, only thing I can do is pray to the Lord and sit in my bed and wait for it to pass. If they get COVID, they're going to get the best care in the world. They have access to the medication. They have access to, they're leaders of a country, so they can actually ask for the experimental medication directly from the makers of the experimental medication. I can't do that. Mm. And so it's like, it's time for them to stop living like they different from us, which they have been doing. And like, stop telling people to tighten your belt when you ain't willing to at least cut your pay in half when you still making money off of all the rental properties that you own. It's like, these dudes, there's one person in the House of Assembly that I'd probably be like, oh, he probably need the money. But the rest of them, they could take a tax, they could take a pay cut for a year and don't dead. Right? And it's like, but they're not doing that because they don't want to do it. They don't wish to do it. Mm-hmm. They want to continue to live like normal and then turn around and say behemoths need to be more responsible. Oh.
All right, let's get other people's views on this. Let's hear what you have to say. And you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. And, it's like the beaches thing, right? What's good for one needs to be good for everybody. We cannot have different rules for different people in the country. So if we're going to have church funerals for one person, everybody needs to have one, right? And we pray that they will stick to the protocols that are required and that are in place right now when they do that, or if they do that.
Everything, no one is saying that there needs to be no rules and a free fall, which is a whole other issue. Where it's like, it seems as though, right, everybody is of the opinion that every time somebody complains and the Prime Minister loosens stuff, that his loosening is him attempting to say, well, fine, y'all do whatever y'all want to do, and y'all who don't hear can feel, right? And it's like, it cannot be that. It must be a situation where, because that's clearly a poor leader. That's somebody who's a spoiled brat who cannot take criticism, right? If you are a true leader, you would understand, okay, you know what? This person said X, Y, and Z, and you know what? I may not agree with X and Y, but Z is true. So let's adjust ourselves to that matter, right? Yeah. The thing with churches, being you able to go to church for 1 hour on the weekend, as a person who goes to church on Sundays and takes advantage of that rule is unfair, right? Because you're telling me that only persons who are going to church are allowed to take advantage of it. What about the persons who aren't Christian? What about the people who don't know if they believe in God? What about everybody else? How is it that our Constitution tells us to not discriminate based on religion, but here we are saying that only people who are Christians are allowed to congregate on Saturdays and Sundays? for an hour. If it's possible to happen for one citizen, it must be possible for all citizens.
Yeah,
that means
absolutely.
that everybody should be allowed to congregate for at least 1 hour on weekends.
All right? We've got a lot of messages coming in, calls coming in as well. Just want to read this text. This is getting me angry here. Dwight, for God's sake, stop being F&Ms. What? He was a state official. Police and others still are having official parties. You're really mixing up a lot of stuff, and you're getting me angry, actually. Tell your co-host, go find... What? Stop being political. He should have a state funeral. Stop the political BS, for God's sake. You know, you have a severe problem, texter. A severe problem. You are fine with being treated like a second-class citizen, and for there to be different rules for different people. If they're having official parties, we need to crack down on them and stop them, right? Come on now. F&Ms, this has nothing to do with that at all. Are you serious? You're fine with, oh yeah, this person deserves this, but you all, no, forget it. Go outside in the hot sun in the graveyard. Only 10 of y'all. You're happy with that? That's good enough for you? Okay, well, that's why we are where we are. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Okay, let's take the other one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, how you doing?
Doing well.
I agree with your show so far. Everything you got, Mr. Hanna had to say so far. Disagree with the text you read. But I want to add to your debate, the Prime Minister and his cabinet, because they wear a mask in or out of the house, if they violate the Bahamian people's fundamental rights according to the Constitution, you have to make provisions, okay? So whether he could wear the mask 24 hours a day, okay? It does not matter. You still have to take care of the Bahamian people in this country who started their business and were seriously affected. Their health is now affected. Their wealth is definitely were affected from maybe before you made that decision. And he do not comprehend. He don't understand. People's life, our religion is connected to our job. By the sweat of a man's brow, he shall eat bread. That's Genesis 3:19. Who gave the Prime Minister authority to take away Amos, let's say my rights, Amos Jr. Miller rights?
Constitution. Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Let's go to them, but that's a good point. Welcome to the Headback. You're on.
I'm calling Dave Universe along with you on your panel of Spence.
My good brother, the leader, the founder of the Saxons.
Amen. A couple of things I want to say.
Please.
Now, I appreciate the brethren trying to help the landlord and the tenants, right?
Right.
But I don't think he had they had not give justice to the tenants for the simple reason that this pandemic been caused by the Bahamian people, been caused by the landlord, neither the tenants. Okay?
Yes.
Now, nobody are pointing to the persons in which should be carrying the brunt of the problem. Now, the thing is, and I don't like that. The thing is, you're dissing the Bahamian people. The thing is, it was caused by the Chinese for them not handling it properly, okay? And instead of taking the Chinese to the ICC or having them to assist the Bahamian people with their deaths and their sickness because of this pandemic,
yes.
Nobody is pointing to the government and say, well, less or government, you must do such and such. You're creaming the Bahamian people, and it's not right. Okay? Now, by rights, if the government doesn't want to take the Chinese to the ICC,
yes.
Then encourage them because they're obligated to pay restitution. Stop causing your Bahamian people to bend down. You're not being decent. With all due respect, you're not being decent to the Bahamian people. Thank you for your time, Spence.
Thank you, Bremen. Boy, Bremen is passionate on that. Gentlemen, any comments on Bremen? Raymond is passionate about this tenant rent and landlord situation. Any comments?
The only thing I would say is that, in a long-term perspective, that the suggestion that he had offered is valuable, but at the same time, too, you got to remember, Spence, this whole pandemic is creating very turmoilish situations amongst, different relationships. You're talking about landlord and tenant, in some cases, husband and wife, in some cases, child and parent, student in school. So, we got to just manage what we can do in the most of that and just, hope that everything kind of levels itself out.
Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. I'll call you on. Thank you. Hello. Caller.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm in top shape and getting better. How are you?
Man, it's always a privilege to listen to the prophet of motivation and your guests that you bring on. We're happy to have Nahaja, but we're also grateful that you're holding on for her until she returns.
Yes, I'm holding on strong for her.
Yes, you are. Surely, you sure are. Now, listen.
Yes, sir.
The Bahamian people, not everyone is going to be academically inclined. We need leaders in our different political party system who will comprehend that while I might be good with my book, you might be good with your hands.
Yes, sir.
And together we have to find a balance where both can coexist. We cannot continue to perpetrate a fraud as if you have to be educated to be successful, because that's not correct. Education does not bring success. What brings success, in my humble opinion, is someone being honest, with integrity, and truthful to themselves. See, when I be honest, and I have integrity, and I'm truthful, and I look within myself, I will find what I need to, or that individual will find what they need to succeed. Now, we have leaders in our country who are challenged with this fact, by this fact that they are educated, okay? Only a small amount of us are academically educated on a national level, okay, as relates to who went to college, university, so forth like that. So there will always be a large population among us who did not go to college, but that does not mean they are not educated. And then you have, on the other hand, those who have not went to higher learning or went through higher learning, but they are intellectually educated. And so I'm asking that the Bahamian people be patient. The Bahamian leadership now in political arenas and especially in the church, because, it's like if you don't have certain education, you're not making certain amount of money, dog eat your lunch. So
in the church?
Sir?
In the church?
In the church, unfortunately, many of our senior leaders and our senior pastors in our churches are also challenged by the fact that it's like they don't want certain persons in leadership if they think you are not educated on a certain level, or if you don't have a certain amount of money, okay? And they love the people who have a lot of money naturally, or
the glory of God. And he was talking about in the flesh. But the beauty about this whole exercise, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're going to be just quite fine. There are lots of challenges remaining because you still have curbside shopping in many cases. Call on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bodie. How you doing, sir?
I can't complain.
And good afternoon to your listeners.
God bless you.
Yes, President Donald Trump is going to pull this one off, in my humble opinion. I don't care what they say. It's going to be shocking for them to see.
Yes, sir.
You see, I think the second time around, he might have to curve his thoughts. He speaks very loud. His thoughts, he speaks out his thoughts very loud. Brother Bodie, what I call on you concerning today. It's my concern for those citizens in our country who have, for years, and for many, were told by the doctors, by their doctors, our doctors, that some illnesses, what we call comorbidities, all right? We're going to have these things for some people for the rest of their life. And they have been given prescription medicine that they must take. And with these medicine, it has eat, take with food, or, you must eat, basically. All right? And so for the Bahamas cabinet, a doctor, the competent authority, to take people bread and butter, because you read in the Bible, by the sweat of a man eyebrow, by the sweat of our brow, we should eat bread. I don't believe in no socialism. I don't believe no man supposed to take care of me. Okay? I don't believe no man supposed to let some other man take care of them if they're healthy and well and can go to work. And because I trust in the Most High, okay, He opens my understanding and how to fight war. What war? The war called life. On this journey I'm on, how to navigate through life by working. And for the Prime Minister and his cabinet to play politics with people's life, okay, and then refuse, okay, 1 month and 4 days later to give the Bahamian people the provision relief that they know, according to chapter, where they get their rights from to close the economy down, is exactly in the very same article where they will find their responsibility to the Bahamian people as relates to taking care of the Bahamian people by giving them the provisions, relief that the people need to have in their homes. Failure to do this is a violation of our fundamental rights in this so-called time of war.
Right.
And even
now you know you're gonna wrap up in a minute.
Okay, in wrapping up, and even then, in wrapping up, and even in a time of war, you cannot expect no one in this country to go and be sympathetic to you in your war talk, because this country is in no war. No one's shooting me with no gun. No one. I'm not hiding from anyone looking to kill me or chop me up. Okay? This COVID-19 is a disease that the Bahamian people did not cause. Our businesses that we started...
So, and you say you're wrapping up to what you...
The Bahamas government, yes, I'm saying now, the Bahamian government did not start it. And for them to threaten us by causing the police to give us ticket and threatening us, but the judge, or the magistrate, have the right to double the ticket, it's egregious.
Okay.
All right, that's all I'm saying. It's a violation of my rights, and I'll go to court, and I'm pleading guilty with this explanation. No one can lock me up without what I need to be home. I ain't asking them for nothing. When I come into this world, my mother and father bring me into this world. Where were they?
All right. No big deal.
Stop violating people's rights just because they don't have no money or they don't know all of their constitutional rights the way a lawyer know it.
All right. God bless you.
All right, bro.
Respect. All right, Amos, I love you. Take good care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Express Yourself. You can say what you like. Don't offend anybody. We believe in an open dialogue. And as I said earlier, the presidential elections in the United States.